Today we're standing here, behind me in this field we're standing in is a CRP field full of native warm season grasses and wildflowers. So I want to go over and talk about a few points on important things to look out for if you're buying a property that has these types of programs already in place, or if you're looking to maybe insert that program, and a few tips on how to take care of it. CRP and other government programs offer you as a landowner a great opportunity for some cost share. The state will actually give you money based on a per acre dollar amount to take crop out of production and put it into great wildlife habitat. Right, today we've got switchgrass and different wildflowers that we're standing in. So they'll come in, they'll plant this for you, or you can do it yourself. And then you just got to take care of it. And then after, sometimes it's a 15-year contract and sometimes it's a lifetime contract to where you're unable to take it out of the CRP that you put it back into. Some different things that I like to look out for as a landowner when taking care of my CRP is going to be, number one, making sure that we're able to burn it. Okay, the reason that CRP fields don't typically last long, they don't stay tall, they don't have a lot of cover, is because we're not coming in and doing our prescribed fire. Okay, you've got multiple different options of when to burn and some specifics on that. I like to burn in the spring or the fall, and those different burns control and help different species. But the most important thing is that on that contract, I really think it's important that you're going to have the availability to burn. Sometimes you can run into some challenges of where they only allow you to disc. I personally don't think that's a super good idea because when you turn up this soil that you just planted and spend all the money and investment of planting these native plants, that will turn up a lot of things like Canadian thistle or different cool season grasses. With those plants that come up and just general maintenance on prairie, right, you can come in and control those plants with herbicide. So if we're out here today, we've got a few different small tree species, some thistle that's coming in here. What I like to do is with the thistle, because it's a broadleaf, come in and I like to use Garlon 3A. That's going to be a broadleaf specific herbicide. So if I were to spray that spot of thistle, it's not going to affect the switchgrass or the little blue stem or the Indian grass that's growing around there. Okay, or your other option is if you have a cool season grass problem, you can come in before all of the native grasses start to grow, because the cool season they will grow before the warm seasons will. The warm seasons will typically come up in late April, May. The cool seasons right after the frost comes off in early April, and you can control those with the simazine or even a glyphosate and spot spray them. With those chemical mixtures, when we're spot spraying with glyphosate, I like to run a 2% mixture. 2% mixture is using 2% of the glyphosate to the total volume of spray. So if we have a 3-gallon sprayer, we're just going to fill that 3 gallons with 2% of the chemical. Another important feature on native warm season grass properties when we're talking about burning is having established burn lanes. A really good tip for anybody who's a wildlife enthusiast or enjoys hunting whitetails is to put those lanes in clover. You can do a 4 different clover mix. That's great because it's the first thing to green up in the spring. So if you go to burn this grass or this wildlife area, you're going to have a nice protection there, so your burns aren't going to go from field to field. Other maintenance that you could do that'll be important is going to be taking care of your woody species. Some woodies like trees and shrubs here and there are going to be beneficial to the wildlife, but other areas you'll get early successional trees like cottonwoods and willows and maples that are going to be the first trees to come up out of the ground just with the natural seed. They're going to come up and they're going to come in really thick. So it's important that you can come in. I like to mow them late in the winter, and that's going to kind of set them back and restart. Okay, you can also apply that Garlon 3A, the broadleaf specific herbicide, to those plants while they're actively growing, or you can come in and use a 50% mixture of glyphosate and spray the cut stumps to keep those trees controlled. When it comes to maintenance, there's also some really great opportunities that you can benefit as a landowner. There are different cost share programs, whether that's for disking or additional planting or even invasive species control that you can apply for as a landowner to help with the costs that it takes here to take care of the property. different government programs like CRP or WRP, okay, they all have a little bit of a different regulation. Some programs allow food plots, some programs allow the trails, and some programs don't. So it's really important before you agree to these contracts is to get with your local agent, typically through your NRCS office, and be able to talk with them and give them specifics and go over those while you're doing your due diligence if it's something that you're considering when you're buying a property. All these things are really important to consider, especially, like I said, if you're looking to buy, you're going to take over a program that's already in place. Just know what you're getting into. It's really important to maintain these fields because if we're maintaining them yearly, they're going to last a lifetime. But if we don't maintain them, they're going to be taken over with obnoxious weeds, and we're really not going to have a lot of benefit to wildlife.